Okay, before we start into Chapter 7 or continue with Chapter 7, I just want to follow up on a couple things. Oh, first off, for those of you, probably about half of you did the extra credit. I've commented on that and sent you feedback on that. Thanks for doing that. Casey had asked about something I had asked you to do last week and didn't per se go over in class, so we should probably take a look at that. So on page 247 of your book, I had asked you right, this is a credit card statement. I had asked you a bunch of questions on it, right? What's the total line? What percentage is the minimum payment? What's the APR? What did it do if a receipt's wrong, etc. And one of the other things I'd asked you to do was to verify the finance charge. And there was a question, how did that happen? So let's just make sure we all understand this. There's two ways that finance charges are calculated. Can anybody tell me what those two ways are? How do you calculate a finance charge? Yes, ma'am.
Average daily balance, including and excluding purchases.
That's it. ADB. So my question is, what are the two ways that finance charges are calculated on a credit card? And the answer is ADB with purchases, ADB without purchases. ADB stands for what? Average daily balance. The second one's way easier. ADB without purchases. They just take beginning and end of the month and divide by 2. So it doesn't make any concession for what part of the month, do you make the purchases at. Okay, so that's super easy. ADB with purchases is that table we set up, right? Can everybody make one of those tables off the top of their head? What are the 3 column headings? Number of days, balance, and then number 3 is just multiply the first 2 columns together, right? Okay, so my question on this credit card statement was, can you verify the finance charge? So looking on page 247, what is the finance charge? How much is it? $4.40, which is right here, right? This month's charge, $4.40. Okay? Obviously, you need to verify your finance charge when you get a credit card statement. And what they've done for us that's so sweet is what? What number have they provided us with? We don't have to calculate it. Look around at the top. Part of your goal here is just learning to read the statements. And they're not uniform, so you've just really got to read and try and extract the data. Yeah, they give you the ADB. So verify the $4.40 for me. Interest is always principal times rate times time. And they give you the ADB. So verify that $4.40 for me, please. That same calculation, same, over and over. Interest equals principal times rate times time. No. The finance charge is the $4.40. You're verifying that.
Sounds like that.
No, ADB. The ADB is what in the calculation? Right, but is it the principal, the rate, or the time? Yeah, the average daily balance is the principal. It's the amount they're calculating the interest on. So I want you to do principal times rate times time, and make sure they charge you the right finance charge. So they give me the ADB, don't they? That is my principal. Principal times rate times time. And we know that we're trying to verify $4.40, right? That's the interest. So the principal's $293.25. What's the rate? Right over here, 18%. And again, you guys, these are not uniform any more than a pay stub is. So you've just got to learn to look for the data. Go ahead, Harrison.
So can you just use, it gives you your monthly periodic rate?
It does, but so the question is, can I just pull the 1.5? You can, but why have I coached you over and over to do the same statement, principal times rate times time? Because your time is different. And honestly, if you've got a mathematical mind and you can extrapolate to that, have at it. That's great. But for most of us, we need to go through the same methodology time after time. Principal and rate is APR, right? And the time is 1/12. Does that equal $4.40? Yeah, it does. It does. Go ahead.
So just a question,
Yep.
as far as this statement is concerned, it
Yep.
shows its ending date before the month is over at 8/24.
Yeah, the statement date?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that gonna mess with our numbers at all?
Nope, it's not. Your credit card statement can be any 30, 31-day period.
Okay.
I mean, I think mine goes through like the 13th of the month or something.
So I think one of the questions when we did this for homework, whatever it was where, what day did it start?
Okay, so the question is back to what time frame does this encompass?
So would that just be if we had to find the ADB? We would think we would go through
Yes, but it honestly, it doesn't matter if it's the 1st through the 31st or the 13th through the 12th or the 10th through the 9th. It's going to start, you're going to see what the start date is, and then you're going to see when the purchases are. So if your start date's the 10th and your first purchase is the 14th, you just count from the 10th to the 14th, not the 1st to the 14th. Any 30-day period. I'm not going to make it, believe me. I'm not looking to confuse you, and I see that this is one of those concepts that there's a little bit of trepidation around. You are going to have an ADD problem with purchases, and it's going to be super straightforward. I'm going to be like, here's the beginning balance, and then on July 6th, I bought $1,000 worth of stuff, and on the 8th, I made a payment of $800, and you're just going to run out one of those tables just like we did. Okay, I'm not going to try and give you a statement that doesn't coincide with the 1st and the 31st.
So I guess my question was, how do you know what day it starts on to give your first?
So if the statement date's the 24th, what could you extrapolate or interpret from that the statement date's the 24th? When do you think it started? What's a month earlier?
So it's a month.
Yep.
Okay.
7/25. 7/25 date 24. Right? Okay, we did the other credit card statement. Remember, we had a bunch of questions on that. Does everybody still have that and feel like they can review that as part of the test? Okay, because the one that you're going to get on the exam will look much like that one. It's a real live credit card statement. This kind of stuff they just do for academia. It's not real. I mean, it could be. I mean, it could be what a real bank statement, credit card statement. Okay, so make sure you go back over the credit card statement practice we did.
Is that
Yep,
chapter
yep.
7?
Yeah. Okay, let's just keep going on the things we need to cover today. I'm trying to get kind of take care of some old stuff first. Okay, I think that I left you Monday with the query of whether to buy something with the cash you have in the bank or to borrow money. And I put a bunch of data up or out or somewhere. And you hadn't done one of these before, I understand that. So we're going to take a look at it. And I think, what did I do with my data? I'm going to just read this because you should have it all written down, but let's just make sure we're talking about the same numbers. What did I say I wanted to buy? A piece of land? Yeah. And the price on it was $111,755. And I actually have that money in the bank. So that's why I'm making this analysis. Am I going to pull my money out of my bank account or am I going to borrow it? Which is going to be the best for me financially. And they told me that I could borrow that money over 8 years at 5.2%. Right? And the first thing you had to go do was figure out the monthly payment. How did you do that? Yeah. Now, let's reinforce here. And I want to make sure you understand there's 2 ways to do this. So one of them, let's all go do this together. Put the data in. So everybody bring up Excel. This is all just reinforcement. We're told that if you hear things 7 times, it sticks in your head. I have to say it a lot of times. Not everybody, but that's the average. Some people get it the first time, some people at 17, but okay, that's the average. Let's go throw the data in the top left up here and see what happens. Does everybody know where to get this? Excel, and then you go down, and those are all templates, all those things in there. Okay, so here's the loan, 111,755, and my annual interest rate was 5.2, and my loan in years is 8. And unless I tell you differently, you guys, you're using 12 payments a year, or monthly payments. And the start date of the loan, just let's make that next month. Doesn't really matter for the purposes of this. And I don't have any optional extra payments. So my payment is, the heck is my payment different than what I've got on my piece of paper? Is that what you guys got, the $14.25? Huh. Well, that's interesting. 111,755, 5.2%. Well, crap. Okay. So, hi.
Hi. Sorry, I got on the 12th.
Okay. So let me finish this. Okay. Okay, so the second way to do it, and I want everybody to come with me and do this. If you don't, what is this big long table here, by the way? It's my payment schedule. Can you tell me, please, in my 29th, after my 29th payment, how much will I owe? After I make my 29th payment, how much is still outstanding on my loan? Yep. After my 29th payment on September 1st, I'm going to owe $82,737.78. Right? How much interest am I paying over the whole life of the loan? Yeah, they give you that number right up here. $25,090.58. What happens, so jot down that number. These are like all what if questions. What happens if you put an extra $95 a month on that loan? What happens to the interest?
When you say put on, you mean
Pay, I'm sorry, pay, yep. What happens if I pay an extra $95 a month? What happens to that total interest on that note? How much interest do I save?
$2,000.
Yeah. the difference between $25,090.58 and the number that's up there now, 23,084.82. I saved $2,005.76. How many payments does it knock off my loan? You're going to have to go down into the table to see that. How many payments does it knock off of my 8-year loan? So you need to figure out how many months the original loan was over, and then go down. I know that doesn't change. Oh, it does actually. It tells you up there. Okay, that's easy. It knocks it down to how many payments? 89. You cut off almost a year, 7 months, right? Do you see how you can play with this? Okay, let's look at the second way to calculate a payment. And you'll be responsible for both of these methods on the test. You're going to have to submit something to Moodle for me. Cole is out here. I'm in the middle of something, and then thank you very much for checking in. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Okay, let's go just to a regular Excel spreadsheet. How do I get out of this and go there? Just go to a what? Just a file open. Or, I'm sorry, file new. And I just want a regular old workbook. Nothing fancy, just a regular old workbook. Okay, now I want to show you how to calculate a payment just in a regular spreadsheet, because, for example, when we were doing our cash flow budgeting, if you wanted to calculate a payment in that, or there's lots of scenarios where you don't want the whole table, you just want a payment. Okay, so let's set up that data in a little table that we just used for this piece of land. So I need to know, will you tell me what are the 3 things I need to know? Principal, rate, time, right? We know that, always, always, always. Fill in those 3 numbers. And do the time for our purposes here in months.
Where are we taking these numbers from?
And how much was I borrowing? Right? And my rate was 5.2. And we don't ever want to get out a calculator when we're using Excel. How do I write a formula in there to convert my 8 years to months? Always start with an equal sign. Yeah. Piece of cake equals 8 times 12. Always start a formula with an equal sign. Okay, easy. You don't ever want a calculator out when you're using Excel. It makes a calculator look like a baby stroller compared to a Maserati. So everything you have is here. Now I want to figure out my payment, and the reason I'm showing you how to do this in here is you can play with this kind of stuff. I don't want to put it over 8 years, I want to put it over 5 at a lower rate or a higher rate or whatever, and I just immediately want to see what that does to my payment. Here's your formula, equals PMT, open parentheses. You should put this in your notes as well, because you will be responsible for this next week. You will need to know how to do a loan amortization table and read it, and you will need to know how to just go into Excel and calculate a payment. And for those of you that have fancy financial calculators, there's a really, I'm sure, easy, efficient way to do this on your calculator. I should probably know as a personal finance instructor, but I don't. PMT, that's how it's going to calculate the payment for us based on those parameters. I want to know what my monthly payment is. and here it is, the formula, again, you should have this in your notes, is I, comma, T, comma, P. And the interest rate is quoted as an APR, so if you're getting a monthly payment, you have to divide by what? 12. The interest rate is an APR, we know that. So you got to divide by 12. Right? I, comma, T, comma, P. Please, using cell referencing, do not type in the actual numbers because I'm going to then have you go and change the numbers.
So are we always dividing by 12 with that formula?
If it's monthly, yes.
Okay.
If it was an annual payment, you wouldn't divide by 12. If it was a quarterly payment, you'd divide by 4. The same thing. So equals PMT. Go cell reference the I. Click. And then just finish it off. And hit return, and you'll get the payment. And hopefully, mathematically, it's going to be the exact same number as we just pulled up on the loan amortization schedule.
How do you get D5 to be divided by 12? Or do you,
I put divided by 12.
and then do you do another parentheses?
Nope, it's all in one paren.
You separate it by
Comma, yep. That's how you separate the fields, is by commas.
Mine says C5. Does that mean?
Wait, oh sure, you just entered your data in a different set of cells. Close your parens. ITP. Yay, it's the same number. Now tell me, everybody get that? If you didn't get it, raise your hand. Let's equals PMT. Open paren. Click on your I. No, yeah, we don't teach you on that. Just click on your I. Nope, that's the principal. Start over. The I is the 0.052. Open paren. Click on the I. That's the interest rate's 5.2. Yep, divided by 12. Comma. Click on the T. Time.
So when
Comma.
we're using I instead of R in terms of just calling it rate.
Oh, okay. Good question. That's probably confusing, huh?
Well, I understand. I just didn't know if that.
Right. No. Okay, that might be a problem. Brody's question was, or comment was, please use the same terminology. So that's the rate, the interest rate. Sorry, because before we were using I for the actual dollar amount of interest, weren't we? Did you get it, Harrison? Yeah. Okay, Erica. Okay, for everybody else, I want you to now switch it to a 5-year loan and 6%. Tell me what my payments are. It's a 5-year loan and the interest rate is 6%. Okay. Oh, no, the T and the P are in the cells. So where's your time? Click on the cell with the time in it. Oh, sorry. So, let's start. So equals PMT, open paren, and it's where the data is. Oh. Yeah, so click. Yeah, divided by 12. 12. And click on the T. I think you used the time for the interest rate, the 5.2. You clicked on the 96 for yeah. Who else needs help? What did the payments go up or down? Up a bunch, like $2,100 or something a month,
Oh, it's our rate for the second one.
6%. D5, D6. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you just need to increase your, a couple times and it'll give you your decimal points. Or just turn it into a dollar sign. That's just what it is. Yeah, or sure, choose the dollar sign format. Okay, so this is the kind of thing you can do all day long. All you have to do on this, because I have cell referencing, is go change this to 6%. Right? And my time, what did I say, 5 years? So it's just 12 times 5. Then it just updates.
So if we weren't using 96 months, and it was just 8, we would just do 8 times instead of having to divide by 12.
Sorry?
Because 96 months is in 8 years.
Yeah.
We're using 96 in the formula. If we didn't use it in months.
Oh, you could just click on that and times 12 right in the payment formula, yeah.
Okay, so you can.
Yeah,
Okay.
either way, you bet. Okay. So what you should have in your notes and what you should go practice, because you can do these all day long and make up your own practice, is this is the formula over and over and over and over and over. And the other thing you should have in your notes is you never, ever, ever have actual numbers for the rate, the time, or the principal. You need to refer to a cell so that you can change them. That's the whole point. Oh, well, I'm looking at this loan. I can afford more of a payment. Let's get the time frame down or the interest rate down. Hey, say it, God bless.
So in this case, that'd be how much money he accumulated, or?
That's going to be his monthly payment.
Gotcha.
That's what we're figuring out is his monthly payment.
All right. And then in terms of the question we were doing, whether or not to borrow or pay cash, we're not on how
Cool.
much money.
I'm ready. Yeah, sorry.
So we're not on how much money he'll gain, I guess you could say.
It's not really so much gain. We could take this and say how much are his total payments over 5 years. What would you multiply that 2160 by to figure out how much he's out of pocket over 5 years? 60. And then you could compare it to the other one multiplied by 96 payments. And you could see, right?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is the same as the person.
What's the difference between this and the loan amortization schedule? Yeah, the schedule plans out 96 payments for you so you can go to any single one of them and see the allocation between principal and interest.
Right.
This is just to get the payment. And sometimes I'm like in a spreadsheet, I just want to get the payment. I don't need the whole goddamn schedule.
So will it not just tell you the payment on the draw?
It will, but if I was in the middle of a spreadsheet, I'm not going to go run a whole table. I just want to be able to put the equals PMT right in, embedded in the spreadsheet. Does that make sense? Does it? Okay. Jessica?
On the loan amortization schedule, that extra payment that you can add in,
Right.
is that, are extra payments always only for principal?
Yes.
So-
If you make sure that you let your banker know that it's principal curtailment.
Okay, and so the other spreadsheet is not, it's always been just for the principal?
Yes.
So is the formula just multiplying those?
Yes.
If I don't want to use Excel?
Right. Oh, always want to use
I
Excel.
don't always
Bad
use
query.
Well, that's my question too, like, can you do this by hand?
On a financial calculator you can, on a regular calculator you can't.
To find the monthly payment, you have to use Excel.
Or a financial calculator, it's going to ask for the exact same parameters.
But that's just like a formula that has built in.
Yep. Yep.
Is that from a table in the book?
No.
So we'll never know it.
No. I can't calculate it in my head. I don't know. You can't do it on a regular calculator because the time value of money's in there. So yeah, it incorporates some of the data. Okay, we need to keep going because we've got a lot to still do before we can call it good. Okay, so purpose of doing all this And you absolutely need to know how to do both of these things. Calculate the payment and do a loan amortization table. Was to, back here, oops, was this our original payment, $1425.47? Okay, great. Figure out where I'm at here. Okay, so this was the worksheet we were using, right? Pay cash versus,
Yeah.
and for whatever reason, I would not have gotten an A on the test. I don't know why I've got a different payment. Let's go back here. Okay, can you guys see this, or do I need to blow it up a little bit?
Hey, Lisa, how do we make it so we can see the highlighted things, or are you just gonna wait to release that? Like, you know.
I'm going to post this.
Okay.
What is posted? I've got the answer to 13A posted. Although the payment's wrong, so I'm going to repost it with this. Okay, so amount of loan. Give me the numbers.
111,755.
Length of loan in years. You guys just did this assignment. Read me the numbers. Monthly payment. Here's a great example. Can't I just put in equals PMT right now? Equals PMT. Interest rate is 5.2 divided by 12. Time is 96 months. Principal is 111,755. Boom. Total loan payments made, and I give you the formula right here. And on the exam, by the way, I'll give you the worksheet. You're not going to have to remember the worksheet. Equals monthly loan payment times how many payments you made. Here's my loan payment. How many times did I do that? 96 times. And then if you want to convert it to a dollar, you just go up here and click on the dollar. What was the principal amount of the loan? This number up here, right? Therefore, how do I get the interest? It's just the difference of the two, right? Paid $25,090.58 over the life of the loan for my piece of land. So right there, it's got to appreciate at least that amount to make up for the interest I used to buy it. Right? Okay. Then we're comparing that to, should I just take the money out of my bank account? Okay. How much interest did I tell you that I earn on my bank account? 5.9%. So every year, give me the formula, how much interest do I earn on that money? Equals what times what times what? Evan, what'd you do? Principal, which is what?
1,100.
Yeah, principal times, what's the rate, Erica?
5.2.
I think that on my bank account, it's actually in a CD, I was getting 5.9.
Okay.
Right, the 5.2 was on the loan. Okay, and Kylan, what do I put in for T?
T would not be 96.
I'm trying to get my annual interest.
1 divided by 12.
12 divided by 12.
Sorry.
Yeah. Principal times rate times time. Same. So that's how much I earn. I wish I could get a CD that paid me 5.9%. Okay. So, go ahead.
I got the same number, but I just multiplied 0.59 by.
Okay, because I'm assuming simple compounding. Fair enough. That's going to be same.
So how come you did all three of those, but on the paper it just has the two combined together? Is it just because the 12 out of 12 basically is one? Is it 'cause
Okay,
it's
all right,
annual?
fair enough. You guys keep me honest here. Principal.
Well, I understand. Is it just because 12 out of 12 is basically just saying one? It's like an annual. You're not.
Right, but let's just keep doing it in the order that we did it. Amount of loan times APR times time, right? But the key here is, anytime I have earnings, I have to do what? Pay tax. What was my highest marginal tax rate? 22%. So I am paying this every year in income tax on my interest.
So we don't have to go through the tax bracket and do like the,
Nope, because to get up to that 22%, I've already done all that progressive stuff. The highest marginal bracket, everything's going to be at 22% till it shifts to 24, and I wouldn't do that to you. Do you understand the question? Okay. So after tax earnings over the life of the loan, in other words, how much of my interest income do I get to keep over those 8 years after I pay my tax bill? I earn $65.93, but I got to pay $14.58 in tax.
is it minus?
No, that's a negative number. How many years is this over?
8.
So let's look at this. I have to pay $25,000 to get the loan, and it's going to cost me, I'm going to have to give up $41,000 in after-tax earnings. Should I borrow the money or take it out of my bank account? Really? Aren't I giving up $41,000 in after-tax earnings? See what I'm saying? I gotta pay you, the banker, $25,000, but if I take it out of my own account, I'm down 41. So should I borrow it or pay for it myself? Borrow it. All right, let's do one more of these for reinforcement. Yes, please. So if you open your book, please, we're going to do number 13A in your book.
So at the end of the years, 8 years, you would have,
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's finish this. Yeah. So this minus this,
so that's how much more you would have after 8 years in your bank account.
right? And I even tell you, sorry, let me just finish this off. I didn't do that. So part 3 says, find the difference in the cost of borrowing and the cost of paying cash, which is how much interest I paid minus what I gave up on my own account, on my own money. And then it says, if this number is positive, pay cash. If this number is negative, borrow the money. So I give you a little cheat sheet on it. All right. Let's take a second, read 13A, and then,
Negative because it's in parentheses.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, when something's in parentheses, that's the same as a negative number. Equals, you always have to start with equal sign. Yep. 13A.
What page?
Oh, sorry. Right here, 295.
Are we doing this forward?
You are, and let's do it the same way that we're going to do it on the test, which I think is by hand. I do. Where is that? 13A on page 295. So the one you're going to have to do on the exam is just a multiple choice question. So, You're probably gonna need one of those. Okay, just go ahead and start working and let me think about this for a sec. So you're not gonna need to do a full MDs for the test. I'm gonna give you one to bring to the test so you can use it to do your work to answer the multiple choice. Okay? So bring this. Yeah. I'll put yours down with the test. Okay? Where are you going? Did everybody get $134.87 for the payment?
What was that?
Principal, $4,500, interest 5%, time 36 months, what's the payment? And my formula was just what we've been practicing, equals PMT. Interest rate divided by 12, comma time, comma principal. So that's step one.
Will we be required to do a workbook to get that?
You're going to have Excel open, absolutely.
So you could use the amortization schedule if you want.
You could, but on another problem, you're going to have to submit to Moodle the fact that you know how to do this. Because lots of times you don't want that whole schedule. You just want to quickly calculate a payment. I recognize it's easier to let Excel write the formula than do it yourself. Yeah.
Can we do the rest of it by hand?
So the one that you're going to be doing, you're not going to be required to do a full worksheet. You're going to be required to do a quick analysis. So it's whatever you feel, that you could crank through a multiple choice most efficiently at. Like for me, I would use Excel 10 out of 10 times because it's easy for me and I can do it much quicker than I could filling out a whole worksheet. Whatever works for you. You will have access to Excel.
Yeah, that's what.
And you can bring that worksheet. So I think the next question then was how much am I going to pay over the life of the loan of the entertainment center, right? And therefore, how much is the principal? Sure. Yep, you're good. I'll do the couple things. So the I has to be divided by 12. The interest rate has to be, so another 12. Yep. And then the you put an asterisk needs to multiply. So it would be asterisk. Yep. And then again, when you jump on it, you don't want to put actual numbers in here. Where do you have the 5%? Go click on the cell. Click, divided by 12. And then what comes next? Comma. No, it's not principal, it's time. Oh, yeah, it's got to be numerator starting equals PMT. There you go, open correct. Yeah. I, comma, T, comma, B. Oops, right, because you've got to click on where the I is. Click on the 0.05, and then divide it by 12 columns. Sorry, this is kind of confusing, not having it set up at the beginning of class. So right now, you should be here that they paid $355.29 over the life of the loan. And you should start working on how much interest they're giving up in their savings account. So for those of you listening, I'm actually signing off because we're going to set up a new system.